I think when you look at kind of volcanic personalities like McLean, maybe when you left Dundee United you should have picked somebody that was a wee bit meeker and milder, but you moved to work with Graeme Souness at Rangers.
I thought I'd get rid of one.
At 86 you know you're going there. I think when you're in Mexico with Sir Alex, as you said, after Jock's death, but you know you're going to Rangers. I mean, a Rangers fan as a kid, I mean, what was it like to have to deal with that when you know that the move's there and that was a revolution going to Rangers. What was it like at that time?
It was a kind of longish wait. Graeme asked me in February. I was with the Scottish national team at Tunbury, and he asked to speak to me, and I'm thinking to myself, what is Graeme Souness when I speak to you? But you know, Graeme Souness, and that was that. He says, "How would you like to come to Rangers with me?" I looked at him, aye, fine. He says, "No, seriously, they've asked me to be the manager. Would you like to come as my assistant?" So I said, "Aye, sure, no problem." So I thought it was one of these things that was going to happen imminently, but it wasn't. He couldn't get away from Sampdoria, so they had to keep it. To be fair, it wasn't until the last week of the season, or not last. It was. I always remember it was a sports writers' dinner, and somebody said it came out. There was, I think, 3 or 4 games left of the season, and that was us. We got together and started. But Graeme was another one. Graeme, different from each other, because they were different from the majority of people. Graeme he had a good view, he had a very simplistic view of football, and managerially was very successful in terms of he's won something, you know, everywhere that he went to manage. I think, with maybe the exception of Newcastle. You know, so he's had his level of success there, and I don't think anybody else could have created such a star, such an environment at Rangers than he could have. He would come in, he was perfect for that, and everybody knew then that Rangers were going to come out a spell where, you know, the money that was spent in building the stadium obviously had affected the team in the latter stages of John Gregg's career and things like that. They were going to spend again, and they were going to bring people in. So he was a perfect person for it. I don't think anybody else could have generated the same interest and publicity that Graeme did. And he brought his own kind of special kind of style of management well.
Take us inside that. I mean, you've been known to have the odd rant yourself. We were talking about that briefly this morning, and 1 or 2 years in other lower leagues have had rants this season, and we were talking about that kind of management when you have a rant. And you said to me one of your rants was featured in Soccer AM recently with Charlie Adam.
I think everyone else have a rant. Graeme's wasn't always, you know, rants as such. We were at Easter Road one night and we got beat 2-1, and I went into the dressing room and he wasn't there, and I was always concerned when he wasn't there because you wondered where he was, you know. And I said to someone, I said, they were doing a bit of work at the stadium, if I can remember. And he said, and Bob Valentine was the referee. He was a Dundee fella that I knew. And, he said, he's on the ref's room. I went, away I go. I'm too late. I just opened the door, and there's tea all over the wall, cakes and biscuits all spread all over the place. He's walked in, he's booted them. this is the referee's tea. He's booted all that, so I'm apologising and I'm pulling out and I said that, you know, like that was that. So he was banned and fined and whatever. But it was always interesting with Graeme. You never quite knew what was going to happen next with him. And it was great. But I think in management, we all have a really rants here and there.
You said a simplistic view of football there. What do you mean by that? Like in a kind of brutal way when he was picking the team? Or?
No. I mean, Graeme had the view, and I think it was probably born out of the fact that when he was at Liverpool. He told me a story about, I mean, they were a brilliant team, the Liverpool team at that era. And he told me a story how he signed from Middlesbrough and went to Liverpool, and they put the team up on the board. And here's Graeme joining this team that are successful and they're going. The team up on the board, and he said to Ronnie Moran, who was the coach, he says, team's up there. What do you want me to do? And he says to him, well, what do you do? And Graeme says, well, what do you mean? He says, well, what do you do? And Graeme says, well, but what do you want me to do? He says, well, you do what you do. And that's it. He says, well, where do you want to stand at corner kicks? He says, that's Phil. And Phil Thompson. He says, that's Phil. He says, but you're the coach. He says, no, Phil will tell you. And he had for them, they had a kind of, nowadays, we'd put all the stuff up and we'd take all of it. Nowadays, you know, that level of responsibility is no placed on them. And in those days, it was, Graeme had that view. He never bothered much. I bothered about all that, you know, try and keep everything right, because that's what we did when I was at Dundee United. That was the way I was kind of brought up into management. But Graeme never concerned himself with all that. It was just a team and a play. And he used to say to Iain Durant, if he was playing, right, when we get the ball, you just go in front of me and I'll go back and get it. And that's what was that? You know, and I used to think a lot of times, fucking hell, I'm saying, we're up here and this wee Jim's got him doing this and that and the next time. You know, and then I looked at it and I thought to myself, you know, somebody's right there, because Terry Butcher, well, how do you tell Terry Butcher how he play? I mean, he's Captain Ireland, he's doing the playing. I mean, you don't say to him, you've got to do this and do that. And all he did, Graeme, was just put a team together. And he says to me, Cammy Fraser can play wide and the right. I said, no, I can't fucking play there. I said, he can't run. He says, it doesn't matter, he can pass the ball for there. And I thought, aye. And sure enough, Cammy went on and did an early part of the time. He did really well for us there. So Graeme had a more simplistic view. You know, I used to say, oh, it's a bit icy, we need to try and get a game off. No, that's all right, we'll play, we're better than them. We'll that was his view. And he didn't complicate anything, and he didn't make it difficult for a player to play. That was it. You just did what your assets were. They expected you to work hard and expected you to do the right things. But that's what he thought. Good players, put them together as a decent team, and you'll do well.